4:30 in the morning. Now, I slept on the couch downstairs so my alarm didn't wake up my kids. That wasn't much of a life. So I got to my first ice cream shop by 5, and I worked every day. I went from ice cream to ice cream to ice cream to mortgages to real estate to tenants all day long. And I worked to about midnight every single day, 7 days a week. I would hope to get home and see my kids maybe for dinner real quick. But there were days I went 2-3 days at a time not seeing my kids. Because when I left at 4 in the morning, 4:30, they were sleeping. When I got home at midnight, they were sleeping. And I said, you know what, this is just killing me. My kids had everything they wanted, $1 million house, everything a 1- and 2-year-old kid could possibly want, but they never had their own father in the picture. And it just killed me sometimes. So when I looked at Ambit, I didn't look at Ambit as a way for me to come in and make more money and bring on an 8th business. I looked at Ambit as a way for me to get my life back, to be with my kids and watch them grow up every single day. So when I first seen this business, I didn't know how I was going to do it. Petrified to do any sales or anything like that. Never did a sales presentation or speak like this in my life. But I was the hardest working guy that I knew. I knew I would never quit. I knew I would follow leaders like Steve and Brian and Ray, and just wherever these guys went, I went. Talk about sacrifices. I missed so many things in my kids' lives, but it's worth it now because fast forward 8 years, I have an amazing lifestyle. I got rid of 2 of the ice cream stores, got rid of the mortgage company, got rid of the credit, got rid of the construction, got rid of about 20 properties. I kept my good ice cream store. I kept a few good rental properties. And I pretty much say I'm a full-time dad and I work Ambit Energy part-time. And that's what's given me. I'm able to do whatever I want. So maybe my kids didn't realize it much at 1 and 2 and 3, but the last 5 years of their life, they remember everything because I'm at every single class trip my kids have. Parents could sometimes chaperone. I agree for every one of them, and I get picked on almost all of them because no other fathers really can get off as much as I can, so I'm at every single class trip. And it's great, and people are like, how do you do it? I'm like, what do you mean? You know, but it's another lead way into people from what I do, but I'm there at every single thing. If the school announces the kids will be outside on the playground from 11 to 11:30 today, I'm behind that fence. I'm the only person there watching them. You know, but why not? That's what we want out of this business, and that's what it can do for you. So that's my why, guys. So do you think when somebody told me no about the business, it bothered me? It did not at all. I pat them on the back. I wish them the best of luck, and I say, here's my card. If you ever change your mind, give me a call. And believe it or not, guys, if somebody tells you no about the opportunity, it doesn't mean they're never going to join. It means most people are going to watch you. They're going to watch to see what you do. They're going to watch your results. And what I could say, the longer you're doing this, the more success that you have, the more people that will join you. And I had about 80 people so far that told me no 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago that watched me, that I didn't reach out back to not one of them. Those 80 people either contacted me through phone, text message, email, or through Facebook Messenger and have joined in my EC and my NC code. I have some other people that their ego got in the way and they won't come back to me. I know they want to. They told me no 8 years ago, but they just won't admit to, they feel stupid that they're coming back. I'm like, don't worry about it. Let's get going. It's still time to do it. But a lot of people came back. And I guarantee you over the next 5 years, 80 more people will come back and join my NC code. Because I never stop showing people. Never stop. If they say no, I just pat them on the back, wish them the best of luck. I don't lose not 1 minute of sleep over it. I promise you. You know, I'm getting more selective on people that I want to recruit into the business. In the beginning, I was trying to recruit everybody. But now, as your time gets more valuable, and now I want to be with my kids. Now I have 2 more children. I had twin boys 14 months ago, so I got 4 children now. I want to be with my kids even more and more. So I've got to take time away from my children to go out there. I don't want somebody wasting my time. So I'm looking for good quality people. I don't beg anybody into the business. If I'm showing a presentation, if they're not super excited pulling out a credit card and ready to join, I'm not signing them up. I don't want to have to beg somebody to come to a training, beg somebody to go to a meeting, beg somebody to make a written list. I want the people that are excited about doing this. And the better you get at this, the more confidence you have, the more belief you have, your numbers of recruiting are going to go higher and higher and higher. So it's so much about you as a person. I decided 8 years ago that I wanted better. I made that decision. I said I was going to become the MVP of that softball game. I did it. I mean, so many things in my life I said that I was going to go out there and do, and I did, because I decided in my mind that it was going to happen. I decided I was going to be with my children as they grew up. I decided I was going to be a national consultant in a company. I decided I was going to go out there and win the trip to Hawaii, and I won the trip. You know, it's just making that decision. I became national, when was it? Ambition of 2014. I said, I will be a national consultant by ambition of 2014. And believe it or not, the night before, I became national consultant the night before. I decided I was going to do it. I said I was going to do it, and I did whatever it took. The months leading up to that was a lot of work. But I didn't just say, you know what, it's not looking good, let me just extend that deadline. I went out there and pushed and pushed and pushed. Guys, just like if you have a report to do, right? Richard said about a book report, we were talking at lunch. If you have a deadline and something to do by that time, you're going to really get it done. So you need to set goals in Ambit and figure out and do whatever it takes to get and hit that goal. You got to visualize your success. You got to visualize what you want. You know, professional athletes, probably when they were younger, they visualized themselves as being that professional person. They probably didn't say, oh, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I'm good enough. You got to believe that you can do it. Don't ever settle for average. Too many people just want to settle for being average in life. It's with Ambit, it's with anything. Always set your goals higher. Right? Do you just want to be a marketing consultant, a regional consultant? No, you got to say you want to go out there and be an EC or an NC. And just do what the ECs and NCs are doing and just follow this system and do it on a consistent basis. Coming to these trainings are awesome. You're learning from the best people in the business here today. Guys, one thing, and I heard a few people mention time. There's 168 hours in the day, right? We're getting older and older in a week. I wish there was that much time. But our time is ticking. One thing we cannot make back up is time. You know, so you got to look at your life and see where your life has gone so far up to this point. You know, are you happy with the results, or do you want better in life? And that time goes quick. It seems like the older you get, the faster time goes, right? Is that true? So we got to look and just say, what could we do in a short period of time? I mean, are you really proud of your effort? Can you look at your children, your grandkids, or whoever it is, your family members in the face? Like, are you proud of what you've been doing so far? Or could you do a little bit more? I always feel I can do more, right? I always feel like I can keep doing more and more and more. I don't work the 110 hours a week that I do, but I definitely feel like I can do more. I feel like I could be more productive. You know, a lot of people in Ambit, my nickname was they call me No Excuses. But again, when I first got into Ambit, I was working from 4:30 in the morning to midnight pretty much 7 days. Never did sales, never did presentations, had children at home. But I went out there and just decided I'm not going to make an excuse. I visualized success. I want this more than anything. I want to be a part of my kid's life and be there when I grow up. And there was nothing that was going to totally stop me from it at all. Just think failure is not an option. All right, so now I know Richard spoke about the list before, but I'm going to touch on some of the list because it has to do with a lot of the recruiting that we're going to do today. Do people in this room, do you guys still have a list with prospects to go out there? Yes? So why aren't you inviting by the dozens? You know, I know a lot of people with a big list, and they're inviting one person here, one person there. Why aren't you inviting more? There's a reason why. You know, do you fear the outcome? And I would guarantee you that's probably one of the leading reasons is because you fear of what the outcome. You fear if they're going to say no or what they're going to think about you. If you want to build this business big and fast and create momentum, you need to do a lot in a condensed period of time. Right? So if you go out there and invite 50 people over a year, that could be okay. But why not invite 50 people in a week or in a month? If you have the list and you have the time, why not, right? If you really want this to work and you want it to move quick, so should you go and watch 3 hours of TV a night? Or should you cut out some of that TV and invite the people on the list in a short period of time? But too many people, I think, just settle for average. They settle for mediocrity and just call a couple of people. I watch so many people go out there and invite. They might get 2 people. They'll call 2 people to come to a meeting or a presentation, and they'll get one person to say yes, and they're like, great, I got one. And they stop. I'm like, why would you stop? Why not call more people? In the beginning, guys, I didn't have a lot of time to put into Ambit, so the time that I did have, I was focused. I was doing as much as I can in those 5-10 minute increments at a time. But I was inviting a lot of people. I became good at one thing. I wasn't giving a great presentation, and maybe some of you, maybe Steve remembers me in the beginning, but when I first started speaking, it was brutal. I guarantee you I was the worst speaker, presenter in the entire company. There was times I was on stage for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, complete silence. Had no idea what to say next. It was bad, really bad. And I'll tell you how I got started speaking, and I thank Ray Monty for it. I had just got to senior in 2 months, this is 8 years ago, and I was at a training event, probably around this many people, in Long Island, New York, and I'm sitting there in the room, and Ray Monty's talking, giving a presentation, and all of a sudden he says, I want to tell you about this guy who's working all these hours and has all these challenges in front of him, but yet he's just tearing the business, he's a business owner. I'm like, man, who's this guy? I want to meet this guy. Sounds like me. And then he says, Mike Obey, come on up. What? I was like, what did he say? He's like, come on up here. And I almost collapsed. And he came on, I came up to the stage, and he says, Mike, I know you're nervous, I know it's your first time, but just share with them your story and, what you see in Ambit and just that. And I went out and spoke maybe a minute and a half. And afterwards, everybody came up to me like shaking my hand and trying to talk to me. And I said, wow, this actually feels pretty good that my story is inspiring other people. And I said, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Right? I wasn't giving a sales pitch. I was just speaking from inside my heart about what I thought of Ambit and my excitement level and the passion I had for this. And it was touching people. And then I started doing maybe a 2-minute little testimonial talk. And that's how I started in speaking. And after that presentation, I went up to Ray and I said, Ray, I want to thank you for that. He's like, what do you mean? I said, because if you would have told me that I had to come here on Saturday morning and give a minute talk, I would have told you my cat was sick. I would have made up any excuse in the world. I guarantee you that I was not coming. But I said it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And it actually felt good. It felt good by doing it, and that's when I just started. And I just kept doing it, and I'm telling you, I was brutal. I was a disaster. Totally bad, but I just kept doing it, and belief is what got me to where I am. So guys, if you have a big list, you got to go out there and attack that list as quick as possible. If you didn't care about the outcome, would you invite more people? Probably you will. Right, but you care what people are going to think about you calling them up. You think about what their outcome, if they're going to laugh at you, if they're going to join, if they're not going to join. But when you get to a point where you have that belief, you might not have it yet. See, I had that belief in the beginning. Even though I didn't have any success, Ambit was only 1.5 years old, but I've seen some people, I met some people, knew some stories. I believed in Jerry and Chris. That's what helped sell me on the company. I believed Ambit was going to be where it was today. And that belief, when people told me no, I didn't care. I just kept moving. I said, I'm doing this with you or without you. And there was no stopping me. I just kept moving forward. Don't get emotionally attached to the outcome, guys. Don't let it bother you. Okay? Don't let it bother you at all. How you handle rejection in a positive or negative way will make you or break you in a business. Here's a quote I came up with. The faster you get comfortable failing, the faster that you will succeed in this business. When people tell you no, if you could overcome that and just keep moving on, you're going to succeed a lot quicker. And I'm telling you guys, because if you seem desperate and you're begging people and you seem needy, your chances of them joining are going to get lower and lower and lower and lower. Right? You want to be good with the right people, and you want them to believe in you, believe in your vision, look at you as a leader, and they got to know that you're doing this with them or without them. If you answer no to the question about not having a list with people to talk to, I can guarantee you the number one thing, if you don't have a list, is you're prejudging people. You're definitely holding people back. You're not putting certain people on a list because you think that they wouldn't become Ambit consultants. You think that they wouldn't be interested in Ambit. You think that maybe they don't have the $75 to join. That's the wrong way of thinking. That's the wrong way of thinking. There are people that I knew in the beginning that I would bet any amount of money, friends of mine, that were going to become partners of me in Ambit and join. But those closest of my friends, some of them, no interest in Ambit Energy. I think they could be killer in the business, tons of contacts, great mind, great everything, no interest at all in Ambit Energy. I have some other friends that I would bet everything that I've owned that they would not become consultants, and they join me in business. So from that early on, it made me realize that you never know who's going to do this or not. You might have some friends that you think maybe are too lazy, that are always sitting home, not doing much with their life. But maybe them getting a job and working for a boss certain hours, maybe doesn't motivate them. Maybe going into a business with the fastest growing company in America to help people get free energy, maybe that will motivate them. So you can't go out there and say, I'm not going to show this person for that reason. Guys, I show everybody. I don't care if they're 18 years old or I recruited an 88-year-old man. And he said he's in this for the long-term residual income. That's the truth. You know, and Frank joined and he just doesn't want to sit home and do anything. But I show every single person. I do. I show as many people as I can. I don't care their age. I don't care their background. I don't care anything. The average 20-year-old person knows 2,000 people. So if you're 30 or 40, you probably know 3,000 or 4,000 people. But do you have that many people on your list? Probably not, because you're prejudging and holding some people back. Don't be selfish. Go out there and show everybody you can.